Mike here with the Roadside Oddities YouTube channel. I just got done wrapping up watching some spring training baseball here in Tempe, Arizona. It's nice and hot today, sun is out, and I've got 48 hours to get back to Wichita. Before I do that, I got to stop at as many parks as possible. So let's start the timer and get this going. 48 hours, how many parks can we hit? These things are massive hogs. They are huge. They're kind of like the redwoods, national forest, just how big they are. Obviously, they're not redwoods and they don't grow in a coastal environment, but man, these things are ginormous, just everywhere out here too. Everywhere you look. Pretty cool. Lots of those things and a lot of those too. This is what they call the Sonoran Desert overlook. It's pretty cool. I just noticed this, but we lost our Fort Union sticker. It was right there. That's disappointing. Well, if you find yourself in Tucson, Arizona, highly recommend checking out Saguaro National Park. This was really cool. Nice thing is, too, is you don't even have to get out and hike to really see just a lot of how beautiful it is. You can just stay in the car and take the scenic path around. They've got a nice little rest area over here, too. Have some lunch. But, yeah, this is really beautiful, and I would highly recommend stopping here. Now, they also were selling salsa that has these in it, prickly pear, so I got some for the folks back home. As you can see, though, $12.99. It wasn't the cheapest, but hey, we'll give it a try and see what people think. Well, good morning from Lordsburg, New Mexico. So drove a couple hours yesterday after leaving the park, and gonna have a great day. It's gonna be like 80-some degrees. Headed out to White Sands. Still got about a day before I gotta be back in Wichita. So hopefully we'll get more than just 2 national parks in, but I don't know. They're kind of all spread out, but it is nice. New Mexico's got a lot of parks. So does Arizona. Just got to get there before the visitor center closes and those type of things. Other than that, having a great trip so far. No issues. Looking forward to seeing what we can find today. So come along for the ride. All right, so we just stopped and got gas, refilled the car up. Really nice Love's gas station. I think it was brand new. And I went ahead and got a second cup of coffee for the morning. Make sure we're wide awake and ready to go. We're about 70 miles from White Sands National Park. Getting ready to drive through Las Cruces, New Mexico, which has a beautiful vista or view or whatever you want to call it. It's really pretty mountain backdrop behind it. But should be getting to the park here about the next hour or so. We're only about a mile and a half from our turnoff. If you ever drive from the Southwest, you know they've got Border Patrol or Customs inspection stops kind of spread out, and that's what we're waiting on right now. There's probably about 15 cars in line. It's not moving very fast today, but we should be there hopefully shortly, as long as we keep moving on through here. It's like snow, except it's sand. Really fine sand. It also doesn't really get very hot. So I'm going to put White Sands National Park on the must visit list. It's pretty cool. A lot of nature, a lot of beauty. You can get out, get involved with it, but just kind of in the middle of nowhere. Definitely worth the visit. Okay, according to my National Park Service app, Chamazelle is actually the next closest to where I'm at currently here at White Sands. But as longtime followers of the channel know, we've already been there before. It's one of our first stops that we actually ever made. So I looked around, and it looks like there's the Salinas Pueblo missions that are about 2.5 hours from here. 3 different sites, but they got a main headquarters. And I think that's going to be the play. That'll keep me also moving towards Wichita. So great visit here at White Sands, and we're on to the next one. All right, just quick update. We have gone under the 100 miles to go, Mark. There's absolutely nothing out here except the beautiful scenery of the Southwest United States. Really peaceful, not a lot of traffic. You got mountain ranges on both sides. A little bit of snow on some of these snow caps, but it is just a beautiful day driving through the middle of New Mexico. It says on the app the bookstore is closed, but it also says we're only a mile away, so we're going to stop here first before we head on over to the main headquarters. Okay, this one is out here in the middle of nowhere, but I guess that's why it was a mission. There is no one else even remotely out here, from what I can tell, so I'm looking forward to this visit. Also, they want you to respect the rattlesnake's privacy, so please stay on the trail. Hey, as long as they'll respect my privacy, I'm okay with it. And this is Gran Cuevera. It's part of the Salinas Pueblo Missions National Monument. The other locations are a few miles away from here. There's a village of 20 masonry house blocks, 1,500 to 2,000 people, 1,200 years ago. Now, this is a big difference in the amount of people that were at White Sands. That place was extremely crowded. This, not so much. Obviously, though, location was quite literally in the middle of nowhere. Beautiful, though. I bet if you are a rattlesnake, you probably love this. You got rocks, there's holes in there, you got grass to hide in. You're set. This is really cool, though. Feels like you're definitely taking a walk back into history. It's a pretty big site out here, too. All right, so this is the second spot, or second unit. So there's one more we're going to have to go to. We're getting a little close on time, though. But this is looks really fascinating, and we'll take a look at it. All right, so we got one more site to check out. It closes in 30 minutes though, so we're gonna have to get moving. Got to go back through the town. So right now we're 8 miles outside of town. Got to go back through town, and then it's 9 miles north of town to go to the last stop. So we're gonna get moving, and hopefully we can get in there and see it before it closes. Well, folks, we tried to get over here to the third and final site, but unfortunately we did not make it in time. The park ranger was actually in front of us, so they just have a very early closing time of 4 o'clock, which I guess that's probably what most parks close at. They were getting ready to lock it up, so we'll have to put the third site on the list, but I'm going to go ahead and say that I completed most of them, so I'll put the sticker on, but we'll definitely put this on the list to return. So I apologize for letting everybody down. All right, so yesterday I drove about 7-8 hours to Guyman, Oklahoma, stayed overnight. I looked and tried to figure something out as far as a national park to stop at that I could see that I hadn't been to, but that I could also get home to Wichita, Kansas in the allotted time that I've got to be back by, and I just couldn't find anything. Plus, I was still just kind of disappointed after the last night's failure to get to the park before they closed. So anyway, I got through that though, but I am right now 4 hours away from Wichita, which is right at the 48-hour mark that I need to be back by. I'm going to see what I can find on the way back for interesting stuff. Western Kansas, you haven't been there. It's kind of, Dodge City's exciting, but we've been there before. And other than that, there's just not a whole lot. Santa Fe Trail crosses through there's points, which we've seen. I'm going to find something. We're going to make something happen this 4 hours we got left. I had a feeling we were going to find something little roadside oddity-ish, and I did here in Liberal, Kansas. This is Dorothy's house. It's on the yellow brick road, just as you're entering or leaving town. Lots of cool Wizard of Oz stuff. They do have a tour. I did see Dorothy walking around, had a tour group with her. I don't think we're going to have time for a tour, though, since we got to get back, but this is a pretty neat, cool little experience. Highly recommend it if you're in Liberal out of Western Kansas and want to stop, check out some Wizard of Oz history. All right, so we're currently between Kingman, Kansas and Pratt, Kansas, on our way to Kingman, headed east. That means we're about 65, 70 miles out from Wichita, which means we should get into the city here with about 25, 30 minutes to spare, as long as there's no traffic jams, wreck, road hazards, delays, anything like that. We should make it into the city within 48 hours of when we left. All right, so we've arrived back in Wichita with about 30 minutes go before our 48-hour mark, so that's exciting. It was a long trip back. We hit 3 national park sites, so that was exciting. The third one obviously had a few units in it, so you can count those really as we went to about 6. And then of course we had the late edition of the Wizard of Oz house, Dorothy's house there in Liberal, Kansas, which obviously is a national park site, but still glad that we stopped at it, and glad to have you along on this trip. If you like this type of content, be sure to subscribe to the Roadside Oddities channel, because that's what we mostly do, is travel and travel challenges and just kind of being out there across the country.